Hello everyone, and welcome. I'm Lynn Zimba, your host for the Bright Horizon World Summit, where you'll discover simple strategies to release your past, unleash your potential, and find your joy. I'm so excited to be interviewing today's expert, Skaletski Boyd. She's such an inspiration. But first I want to take this time to tell you that I'm very happy that you're joining us today. In doing so, you've taken a very important and courageous step toward changing the course of your life. I can tell you from my own personal experience that it is possible to make life-transforming changes. You can release unhealthy and uncomfortable emotions and beliefs that no longer serve you and that are holding you back and keeping you in a self-sabotaging cycle of behavior. You can recover from a traumatic life event and release the pain associated with that event. You can discover who you are. You can find out what makes your heart sing. And you can identify your passion and your purpose on this planet. You can live a life of joy and abundance, happy to be alive and living the life of your dreams. It's all possible. But the one thing I can tell you for sure is that it's not very likely to happen if you try to go it alone. You need support, guidance, and encouragement. You need someone who's willing to stand in the fire with you. You need a plan, and you need direction and guidance in putting that plan into action. So that's why I put together this summit, so that you can get the support you need wherever you are in your journey of transformation. I've brought together a phenomenal group of top-tier experts in the field of life transformation. And each expert, you'll find, has their own personality, perspectives, and personal experiences. Each expert has their own tool chest filled with tools, tips, and techniques with which they do their work. But the one thing all these experts have in common is their sincere and heartfelt desire, right down to the core, to help you make the changes you want to make so that you can live the life that you want to live. So I'm very happy that you're here joining us today, and I honor your presence and your journey. So let me tell you a little bit about Skaletski Boyd. A former drama addict, Skaletski Boyd, affectionately known as the corporate woo-woo, is an inspirational speaker, transpersonal hypnotherapist, and author of Words for the Soul, Heaven-Sent Life Lessons, and Conversations with God. She uses her intuitive and empathic gifts to shift and uplift the energies of her audience. As a member of both the National Speakers Association and the International Medical and Dental Hypnotherapy Association, Michelle is an expert at combining left brain and right brain techniques that are designed to uplift and lighten mood and resonance. Named one of Bob Olson's best psychic mediums, Michelle is a sought-after spiritual teacher and highly known for her ability to help others experientially learn how to fully connect to their higher selves, so they can live in balance and on purpose. By being in Michelle's presence, you'll become more aware of your own. For more information about Michelle and all of her wonderful work, please visit her website at www.soulfelt.com. That's www.soul-felt.com. So Michelle,
yes.
Thank you so much for joining us today.
You're welcome. Namaste to you, Lynn. Thank you for having me.
I'm ready to be inspired. So, so here we go. So I'm going to jump right in, and I noticed as I was reading your bio that you claim to be a former drama addict.
Yes.
So can you tell us a little bit about how you went from drama addict to inspirational speaker?
Okay, wow, that's big. Sure. Well, every once in a while my drama still comes out and I catch myself, which is really interesting. It kind of leads to the question of ego and higher self, and kind of how that all ties in, and how drama ties in versus chaos, which is part of drama, and peace, and really allowing yourself to be who you are. And when you're being someone that you're not, for example, you're playing the part of someone that you think you're supposed to be. So I grew up really exaggerating and playing what I call parts, putting on different masks for different people, because I felt like I was supposed to be that person. Given expectations, I was a people pleaser, and I was an overachiever, and I just thought that's how things were supposed to be. So one example, for example, was after I was in the corporate world, I really felt that I was supposed to do things in order. You're supposed to get a job, get married, have kids, maybe quit your job while you're raising your kids, right? Then go back to work. And so I went to school, studied really hard, started working for the corporate world, didn't really pursue a career in the direction that I really wanted to, per se. It was more what was going to make my family proud, what was going to bring in the income, what was expected of society, what did they put on me, et cetera, et cetera. And so when we are being someone that we're not, that already is putting you in drama energy, because it's like you're on the stage and performing as someone other than yourself. And when you're performing other than yourself, what happens is energy starts to build up. Dishonest energy, inauthentic energy. Sorry, I can't say the word right now.
Inauthentic, yeah.
That whole, what starts to happen is you become completely separated from your true self. And there's this inner conflict and turmoil that starts to happen. And for me, what occurred was a lot of anger, a lot of buildup of anger. People who meet me now, they're like, really? Yes, I knew a lot about anger. And it wasn't just anger, Lynn, it was rage. It was honestly rage. I would be really, really sweet and kind to people because I felt like that was how I was supposed to be and how I was supposed to be acting, and I would say all the right things. And then I would go home, and I didn't literally kick the dog, but you know, that's a saying. It was like I was just really, really angry. And I took it out in anger and in rage, and many times would just go to bed and get really quiet and not want to talk to anybody, just leave me alone. I'd look myself in the mirror and I didn't like who I saw. And then I had this epiphany one day where I realized that one day my looks would start to leave. And underneath that face that everyone saw, were they going to like what I like? And were people really going to like what was left? And I realized that I'd gotten through on my looks a lot. And I'd done some modeling, and I was on TV, and I did commercials, and I was on stage singing. And I realized once that's gone, what's left? An ugly person who doesn't really like life, who doesn't really like her job, who doesn't really like the fact that she was told that she was supposed to do this, this, and this in this order, and life's not happening in that way. From infertility to being laid off to you name it, things just didn't go in the order of what society said they were supposed to be in. And I got really, really mad and really discouraged and really upset and really angry at God. And I remember one day just being out at the time we were living in the Midwest, in my garden. I'd been laid off. And I remember just getting so angry and just yelling at God, because I had been raised to believe that God was here and I was here. And because of that, I needed to pray to someone above me and, and I remember saying, you just kicked me off my high pedestal. Why do you have the right to be on yours? And I got really, really upset. And for the first time in years, I heard that beautiful higher power, God, infinite intelligence, you name it, creator, speak to me. And began to talk to me again. Began to open up my intuition. I've been intuitive since I was a little girl, but I closed it off. And slowly but surely, I began to start to listen. And what was really, really awesome about that experience was not only have I been able to relate to others who have sort of been steered or moved themselves in the wrong direction, and now we can kind of transform, that's what the summit is about. It's healing, transforming, allowing yourself to be real and who you are. What was really, really powerful about that experience for me is that I learned that in order for you to be true to yourself, remove the drama, remove the chaos, there are 3 necessary steps. And these steps can take time. For me, they took years. It's not something we can cover on this particular summit in a matter of minutes. Because if you think about like a compass, and I had been pointed in the complete opposite direction of my true self. And for me to go to my authentic self, think about all the different degrees that you have to get to in order to turn in that direction. So it did take years, and I had been conditioned to keep going this way. So I had to keep conditioning myself then to go that way and keep catching myself. So as an example, when I would lose my temper, and I would get rageful, and I would say things that I didn't mean, and they would just come out. I'd be saying these things, and as I'm saying them, my true self is kind of like over here, watching, listening to what it was that I was saying. And I realized that what was happening and what was going on wasn't really me, but I didn't know how to be me. And that automatic programming was coming out of me in such a rageful, angry state. I didn't know how to stop it. It was so automatic. So to go from that stage of self-awareness, where you're aware that you're in this place, to actually being authentic, where everything that's coming through you is your inner wisdom, is authenticity, is that beautiful place, that's many changes. You have to catch yourself. So what would happen is I was aware of it, but then to actually move myself into that second step, because self-awareness is first, second step is self-trust, to move myself into the place where I trusted myself enough to lead, to be in the forefront, to put that mask on, to be looking out at myself in that direction where it's my eyes, my soul, I'm showing the world and my voice who I am. To be in that place took years. I'm not gonna lie, it took years. But how do you move from that self-awareness to that self-trust phase in such a way where you can catch yourself more quickly? That's why I'm here. It's because I work with clients. I have the book that you mentioned. I have been journaling since I was little. And I know part of my purpose is all my experiences. When people watch my videos or they listen to my stories, they're like, you've lived like 100 lifetimes compared to the most person. You've done this, you've done this. Yes, it's because I've been here and I had all these experiences so I can help other people adjust. I can help other people. I know where people are at. And so I'm answering your question in a really lengthy way, but I feel like it's necessary because the third step, once you become trusting of yourself, is to fully accept yourself. And to fully accept yourself not only means to trust your voice and to put on that face and to be who you are, but it's to truly look in the mirror at yourself and in your eyes and in your soul and to say, I love you. You are amazing. Good, bad, right, wrong. Even on the days when you slip back into drama, which for me now, drama is exaggerating and saying things like, I always seem to be hungry. The word always. We're exaggerating. Right. And so that's really minor. And I can laugh at myself now and I can make fun of it versus where I had been. So it's celebrating, it's learning to love yourself exactly as you are and to accept yourself fully and completely. And when all those things fall into place, that's when higher self connection occurs. That's when you're really being authentic and truthful to who you are. And that's what I do, is I help businesses organizations and individuals on really learning how to be true to themselves, whether it's their mission statement, whether it's their soul purpose, or whether it's helping them be able to go from this place over here, knowing how to steer them and guide them so that they can be true to who they are again, or to find themselves again, because sometimes tragedy occurs and people get, totally pulled off where they were, and they need someone to kind of guide them back. And because I'm an empath and I can feel energy and frequency, I assist people by guiding them intuitively and helping them to get back on track again.
Wow, that is a really good answer. Just a lot of information there, a lot of information there. I'm still processing it, but just what you're saying is so true. Those 3 steps. So self-awareness, self-trust, and self-acceptance. And, I'm going to tell you a secret that is, I discovered something on Saturday.
Okay.
And for the viewers, today in Michelle and my world is a Tuesday. So on Saturday, there's a song that I've always loved, and it's called "You Are So Beautiful." And I don't know who sings it, and I apologize to all the musicians out there, but it's just a song that's always touched my heart. You are so beautiful. And I think it's because I always wanted someone to say that to me.
Yes.
I've had, as we talked before, I've had a number of toxic relationships, and I really just wanted someone to tell me I was beautiful. And I started singing that song on Saturday, and it dawned on me I was singing that to myself. And when I realized that was the moment of wow, of realizing that I had reached the point of self-acceptance. When you start singing, "You are so beautiful. Yes. You're everything I hoped for. You're everything I've dreamed." And you realize you're singing it to yourself. Wow, that's joy. That was such a joyful moment in my life.
Yes, thank you for sharing that. That's so beautiful. And what's interesting is that when a person is in that place where they really mean it, they're not doing it to be like exaggeration or, egoic or anything. They just really mean it. They can look themselves in the mirror. Like for me, my line is, "I am amazing." And it's gotten to the point where at first, when my husband first heard me say that, he was thinking, "Is she just in her, full of herself or what?" But then he really listened to my words. And now it's to the point where he'll buy me cards or gifts, and he'll write on the note, "You're amazing," and he'll put a little smiley face. Because it's so important for us to recognize that when we aren't being true to ourselves, when we're pretending to be someone that we're not in order to please someone else or keep the family together or something like that, right? What happens is it's like you were created for a specific purpose and a specific reason, and you're choosing instead to be over here. Right. And the universe is doing everything that it can to move you back over here, and it feels sometimes like you're being punished, frankly. When in actuality, it's simply because you were put here for a good reason, a good purpose. And sometimes we ourselves think that we're doing the right thing, but we get in our own way. Mm-hmm. And that's why they say, let the little self, get over your little self so that your higher self can take over. And I want to just talk briefly about higher self, which has to do with God, or it goes along with your story of, feeling like someone else in your life had to tell you that you're so beautiful. So what happens is we can give our power away to not only others in our life, husbands, wives, significant others, bosses, people of authority. We can give our power away in that way. We can also give our power away by waiting and expecting someone else on the other side to give us our answers. And I have some clients that will say to me, well, I really want to learn how to connect with my spirit guides, or I want to learn how to connect with my angels because I want someone to tell me what my purpose is. If it was that simple, we would all do it. It's really, we're here because we have free will. And you can, as much as you want, be over here, even though your purpose is here. But what happens is that's, in my opinion, you living in an energy that's false. And a false energy is a negative energy. And a negative energy is dramatic energy. And dramatic energy is chaotic energy. And when you're living in that type of a frequency and that type of a resonance, you're only going to keep attracting the same type of vibrations. And you're not going to feel that truthfulness, that love, that joy. And that's what this summit is about, is to get people to really ask themselves, where am I? Where's my place? What have I done? And there are going to be some people on this call that they've done everything. They're like, you know what? I've listened to this summit and I've read this book and I've gone to this practitioner. And I say, I did all that too. When I first started to really understand, I was meditating and I was one of these people that I'd like quiet my mind and try my best. And then these thoughts would pop up and I'd get really mad at myself because I was a perfectionist and I wasn't getting it right. And then I'd be like really mad. And then somebody would drive by, because we lived on this big farm, and I'd be out in front of the big farmhouse window, and somebody would drive by, and I'd be like, oh, did they just see me? You know, like so worried about what everybody thought. And then I was like, well, maybe if I move my meditations outside, nobody will see me. I'll just go down like by the little creek area, you know, and I'll just sit down in the long, tall grasses. And then you're trying to quiet your mind and you have ants crawling on you, mosquitoes biting you, and the sun is hot, right? And there's all these excuses that we make for not going with it. But I kept at it. And 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 I promise you that when you do that, we talked about that compass, you're slowly, slowly turning yourself, and things are happening. You might not actually feel it. And some days, yes, you're going to get pulled back down under the current, but keep going. Keep going. I promise you, I'm living proof. Here I am. So hopefully that helps.
No, that is a good point. And I think, you know, this summit is exactly about that, is really trying to show people and just trying to solidify this idea that, you know, you can change. It is possible. You can make huge changes, but it's work. It isn't, you know, don't expect someone to wave a magic wand and you're all better. You actually have to be an active participant in that change.
Yes, and I would just tweak the word just a bit, because the word work, it tells ourselves that it's going to be hard, or we have to take it serious, or we have to be right, or we have to be in control. And that's all coming from that same place of falsehood. And so it's really important that you look at it as play. It's inner play. It's inner journey. It's really inner discovery. And so by keeping the energy there, it doesn't feel as heavy. And yes, I get the fact that when you're way over here and you need to kind of go over here to be your true self, you are in heavy energy. It is mucky. It is, you know, dark. It is dense. So just lift yourself a little bit. So if you're normally in rage, like I was, you can move yourself to a more mild anger. But that's still moving in the direction of play. If we moved our energy in the direction of work, we'd be going, you know, in my case, I would have probably been thrown in jail.
That's true. That's true. No, that's an important point. I think you're right. When I think of the word work, I think of, oh no, this is going to be hard and drudgery. I think it's just more taking inspired action steps.
Absolutely.
So, you know, you have to take some steps. So if it's journaling, journal. If it's meditation, meditate. You know,
absolutely.
You actually have to do some of the things that that all these wonderful experts have. Gosh, I've had such a great group of experts. And so so how can people really connect more clearly with their higher self?
Well, it does definitely take steps, and depending on where you are, because not everybody's as extreme. Okay, I call myself a drama addict for a reason, because I really was, and I was very extreme opposite. Not everybody's in that place. So a lot of the professionals that I work with, like I said, they've been thrown off, they had a death, or they're just curious how to connect more fully with higher self, or how to open up their channels of intuition, that type of thing. So not everybody's at that extreme, but I wanted to at least address it so that people know, hey, I get it. Okay. So when it comes to higher self connection, first of all, it's important to understand, what does higher self really mean? A lot of people have this understanding that higher self is something separated from me, that's higher than me, that's above me. Kind of like when I was getting angry with God and saying, who are you up on your pedestal type of thing. And he started speaking through me. I refer to him as a him, I always have. But it's just what happens internally with us as it comes through us. And we're always connected. Higher self is nothing more than your essence, your authenticity, your true self, the God within. What occurs is when we're not being true to that part of us, we are separated. It does feel like duality. And so we're always connected, but what I help people understand is that there's a way to be fully connected. And for most people, when they go into a place of stillness or quiet, or even when they're working with a guided meditation or they're praying, they feel like they have to take their energy and move it up to the heavens. They feel like that's really important because I need to connect to something out there above me. And I used to be the same way. And then I realized and understood through some help of some practitioners the importance of grounding. And I thought, now what does grounding have to do with this? And how does grounding come into play? And then you hear other spiritual teachers, they talk about as above, so below. And then you hear some people talk about the theory of a tree. And they say that the tree has the root system. And in order for it to go up to the heavens, it has this very strong root system beneath it. So I started meditating, and because I'm clairaudient and I'm very connected to the other side, I started asking the questions. What does this have to do with full higher self connection? How is it that people can begin to connect with their higher self more easily and much more quickly than I did, let's say? And what I discovered is that there's a way of moving your energy through the breath that assists you, and it's not about this. It's more about going down and within. So when it comes to, like, for example, moving out of chaos and into peace, and really understanding how to move yourself, again, out of that falsehood and into truth, it's really about, first of all, being in the now, because if we're worried about, what the person outside might think of us if they see us meditating, right? Or if we're dwelling on something of the past, or those thoughts keep bubbling up and we're giving them attention, what I say is don't push the thought away, because what you resist persists. Allow it to come in, experience it, say yes to it, allow it to just be part of the experience, meld with it, bring it down within. And so be in the now, really be okay with the fact, yes, there are ants crawling on me. Yes, a mosquito just did bite my arm, right? Be okay with that. It's still all right. Continue then to breathe. As you breathe and as you're really focusing on your breath and on your center, rather than imagine, feel, know that your energies are going up and connecting to the heavens, understand heaven's here. Heaven's all right here. It's in the core. It's in the center of your being. It's the seat of the soul. It doesn't matter what book you read. They talk about right between the heart chakra and the belly chakra, there's this place, that core of who you are. So it's really, really important that you allow those energies to be there when you're connecting to the heavens, when you're connecting to your true authentic self, that essential self, that God within you. And so I do have a little bit of a meditation that I can bring people into so they can experience some of what I'm talking about for themselves. I will tell you that if this feels right for your audience, because I'm a transpersonal hypnotherapist, those that are doing this and participating, it's going to be really important that you're not multitasking, okay, because we're moving energy, and also that you are in a place that's safe. So in other words, you're not like driving a vehicle, you're not operating heavy machinery, anything like that, because really what you're doing is you're moving yourself into a hypnotic state, and I'm simply guiding you through that experience. So does that feel like something that might be a benefit?
That sounds wonderful. I would love to try this, yeah, and I'm sure the audience would too. This sounds like a really good meditation, so all right.
Okay. So most people, they're comfortable with closing their eyes. And the reason for that is because if you're looking at me, you're kind of like distracted. So I'm going to close my eyes so that I can really move into the experience with the audience. If you want to peek, you'll see my eyes are closed. That's okay. I used to be the same way. It's all about, again, self-awareness, self-trust. And if you're at that point where you want to peek, it's because you're still working on self-trust, and that's okay. Okay, so we're just going to close the eyes. And I just simply would like for you to notice the breath. And there's all different ways of breathing. Some people say breathe through the nose on the inhale and exhale through the mouth. Some people say do what feels best. Really, there are no rules. Go with what feels good to you. The point is that you begin to feel a little more relaxed than you were just a moment ago. Now, I'd like for you to just simply bring your awareness down into the chest so that you can begin to feel the rising and the falling of the chest. You might notice it around the abdomen as well. If you're feeling it in the abdomen, that means that you're doing nice deep breathing, which is good. And just be aware of things like the material, how it feels as you're inhaling and exhaling, the shirt that you're wearing, how it feels when your muscles expand and contract, along with the lungs. Just be aware of the temperature, the cooling or the warming. And now I'd like for you just to be aware of your feet. Just feel your feet. You might want to wiggle your toes just to get a feel for them, kind of gripping. In my case, they're on the floor here. And now imagine yourself standing at the top of a staircase with 20 stairs. And just feel what that might feel like to really be stretched. If you're sitting, just really feel what it would be like if you were standing. And give your energy permission to expand, where you can really feel the weight and the grounding on your feet. Good. And now this staircase can be indoors or outdoors, totally up to you. Just bring in a nice, beautiful space. Allow the temperature and the setting to feel very comfortable to you. And in a moment, I'm going to begin to count backward from 20 down to 1. And as I do, I'd like for you to feel yourself moving down that staircase, beginning to descend. And as you descend, you're going to be moving your energies from where we normally hold them, which is more up in the head. We're going to begin to move them down into that core. Slowly, smoothly, and easily, just like that compass that I described. We're going to take this very safely, 1 degree to another. 20. Deeper and deeper, trusting and knowing all is well. 19. Aware of the jaw. Noticing if there's any tension, just simply loosening the jaw. Opening the mouth even a little bit. 18. Loosening the neck. Allowing any tension just to begin to become released. 17. Noticing any weight that you might be carrying in the shoulders. Just beginning to allow that area to loosen and relax. 16. Just aware of whether or not one arm feels heavier than the other. We're just simply moving into self-awareness now. Good. Breathing, noticing the elbows, the forearms, loosening the wrists. It's okay to move if you want to just move your wrists a bit, feeling your fingertips and in your thumbs. Good. And 15, just noticing now the back of your neck, whether or not you're holding any tension in the shoulder blades. 14, aware of the rib cage. 13, just noticing that spine, how the spine and the rib cage kind of go around that chest area, all the way around back to the spine again. Good. And just go deeper and deeper. Just imagine now that you slowly begin to descend all the way down to the 10th stair. Slowly on your count and on your pace. Feeling the abdomen area. Noticing again the breath. 9. Moving the energies into the tailbone. Really sitting in the energies of stillness. 8. Feeling the energies in the back of the thighs. 7. Feeling the flow from the hips down to the knees, in the pool of the knees. 6. In the shins and the calves. It's okay to reposition your feet or your legs if you'd like, just to allow them to stretch out a bit more. 5. Really relax now, feeling it in the ankles. 4. 3. Deeper and deeper, feeling the feet. 2. And 1. Now I'd like for you to feel your tailbone for a moment again. Feel the soles of your feet. And imagine that your tailbone, whether you're standing here or you're seated, imagine that your tailbone and your feet are connected evenly to the earth. It's going to feel kind of like a tripod. And just sit back in that, in your awareness, and really center yourself in that energy. Notice the breath. And now allow yourself to imagine moving deep into the earth energies. Remember, as above, so below. So in order to go into the higher energies, we need to make sure that we're grounded. So allow yourself to move deeper and deeper in your awareness, below the feet, below that tailbone that's right on the earth. For some of you, you might be starting to feel the third eye open. Sometimes you actually see an eye or get a glimpse of an eye. This is normal. As you're moving down into the earth. Know that this is Mother Earth. It's feminine energy. It's here to nurture you, to care for you, to protect you. And just give yourself permission. Now we're moving into that self-acceptance, that I am amazing, that you are so beautiful, or I am so beautiful. Really feel that here. Bathe in that energy. And you're going to begin to feel what feels like stillness. Some of you might even be picking up on colors or temperature. Just allow it to come in. Down, down, deeper and deeper. All is safe and all is well. Good. Now from here, I'd like for you to imagine another staircase. This staircase also has 20 stairs. And it's moving up right in the very center of yourself, the center of your being. And so you're going to be right positioned below your feet and below that area where the tailbone and the tripod is. You're going to feel yourself beginning to now remain nice and grounded and rooted in that earth energy. And you're going to begin now to connect to the sky energy. So feeling yourself moving and connecting, and 1, lighter and lighter, moving up the center of your being, and 2, higher and higher, 3, lighter and lighter, and 4, feeling the energies, 5, breathing it in, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Some of you are already in your head area. That's okay. Just allow it to keep coming slowly. As soon as you feel the energy coming up into the face and into the head, you're going to feel your connection to sky energy. Some people think this is higher self connection. It's really sky energy. Just feel that for a moment. Allow it to come in. Good. And now from here, the next, what feels like 10 stairs, in order for you to really connect and to really feel that connection, you're going to imagine that your whole entire physical body is rising up, just like if you were on an elevator and it was meeting the top of your head or where that sky energy is. So here we go, slowly and easily. 11, 12, 13, higher and higher, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. Right there. You're now fully embodying the higher self. So I'm going to keep you in this nice relaxed place for a moment. And Lynn, just easily and verbally for the audience, describe your experience. Describe what you're noticing here.
Well, it's maybe a cliche, but just a lightening, an expansion. I am vividly seeing the color yellow.
Yes.
I feel taller. Just very, very relaxed and peaceful.
Yes, and the yellow, because I'm so empathic, I'm picking up on that. And specifically for the audience, those who are attracted to this call, your energy, that yellow energy has a lot to do with that third chakra. That third chakra, as so many of you know, has to do with really finding your true self, stepping into your own power, being true to who you are. It's really, really powerful. I can feel that. It's amazing. And just really sit with it for a moment. Just give yourself permission to kind of spread your back wings, so to speak. Breathe into it. The energy is behind you just as much as it is in front of you. Can't stop smiling.
Me either.
Oh, good. I'm just going to slowly count backwards from 3 to 1. And as I do this, you're going to open your eyes and you're going to still feel this magnificent feeling, the surge of beautiful energy, even with your eyes open. And 3, 2, 1. Slowly opening the eyes. That was so beautiful.
Wow. That's like coming out of a very restful sleep where you just wake up feeling, wow, revitalized and peaceful.
For some of you, you're going to feel a little bit like, ooh, like you're like maybe on a dock. And if you're feeling that, I recommend just wiggle your feet, wiggle your fingers. Just really remind your body that you're embodying all of this energy. It's all you. This is all you. All energy is you. Your whole entire auric field is you. The electromagnetic energy, it's called magnetic for a reason because you are a magnet. And remember that falsehood versus truth, you're connecting into the positive energies. For some of you, it was a big shift. And so if you feel a little bit woozy, that's why. So drink lots of water. You might want to go outside and just be with the earth for a little while, just to keep grounding yourself into the energy. But I really appreciate being able to give everyone a little bit of a flavor of my work.
Wow, that was really wonderful. Thank you so much.
You're so very welcome.
The color yellow too. I'm glad that you picked up on that because I kept thinking, I mean, it was just so bright, and I kept thinking a bright horizon, which I know is really corny, but that's what I was seeing. Is bright horizon.
It's beautiful. I mean, it was really, really bright.
Wow.
And as an intuitive guide and empath, when I'm moving energy and assisting and guiding, I can feel the experience of the people that I'm working with. And my intention prior to this was to be able to connect with you, Lynn, and also the audience, all of those who are listening and watching, observing, whether it's the very first play of the video or if, it happens to play a year out or 2 years out or whatever. It definitely, all time, space is all in the now anyway, so it's all for you watching.
Wow, thank you so much. So I know that you've given us some wonderful free gifts so that we can continue to experience this wonderful energy that you bring to the world. Thank you so much. Can you describe your free gifts for us a bit? Yes,
I actually have the URL here because I always create a unique URL and I have to bring it up here. So it's at soul-felt.com/free gift. And what it is it's another kind of life lesson. This is about a widower, and his name is Stormin Norman. Mm-hmm. And Norman's got a little bit of my personality when I was in my state of rage or anger, only he lost his wife. And so he's really upset with the world because he's in a place right now that he just doesn't like too much. And so this story starts you out in that energy of disgruntledness and frustration and upset. And it slowly moves and shifts your energy using the power of the subconscious mind. Stories are really powerful. And so that particular story, as people read it, they'll start to get a shift in their own mindset and their own position. And then should that feel good to people, there'll be more and more life lessons and stories to follow as part of the subscription to my e-column.
Wow. Well, thank you so much, Michelle. So
You're
for the audience, everyone, just go ahead and click on the button below this video that says grab your free gift so you can get your very own e-parable from Michelle called Stormin' Norman. So this probably sounds like a story that I can relate to. I'm going to go check it out. That rage. And then also all the additional spiritual short stories that Michelle is gifting to us. That's just very generous. And like I said before, if you're more interested in more information about Michelle or her work or her programs, just connecting with her, go visit her website at www.soulfelt.com.
very good.
So our time is come to a close for this time, Michelle. And I, again, just want to express my deepest gratitude. That guided meditation was just wonderful, and all the advice for all the drama addicts out there, and I'm sure you all know who you are. That was great advice, and I truly appreciate all the time that you spent with us, and I wish you the best in everything.
Thank you, Lynn. I really appreciate the opportunity, and I appreciate you creating the space, because without you, we wouldn't have had this experience. So namaste to you.
Namaste, Michelle. So to put it mildly, that was quite an inspiring interview with Michelle Skaletski Boyd. And what a beautiful meditation she guided us through today. Grounding with the earth, reaching to the heavens, connecting with the higher self, which is within us. And I'm so honored that she was able to sense my energy, my authentic desire, which I believe is the same as hers, to assist each and every one of you in standing in your power, in revealing your authentic nature, in shining like a beacon, spreading the love, and increasing the vibrational frequency of all humanity. So, don't forget to click on the button below so you can grab your free gift from Michelle, which is an e-parable called Stormin' Norman, as well as 24 complimentary spiritual short stories. And to learn more about Michelle and her work and her inspirational programs, visit her website at www.soul-felt.com. So be sure to set your alarm early tomorrow so you can watch the next interview. Just getting the email reminder in your inbox is not enough to bring about lasting change. You need to take action steps. So watch the next interview and you'll discover yet another simple strategy to release your past, unleash your potential, and find your joy. There's a bright horizon up ahead for you. Namaste.